Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and we are previewing Week 1 in the NFL with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. He's done a ton of games with us in the past. He's going to do a ton of games with us this year, and I'm very happy about that. Right now, we're going to cover the Saints and Falcons. Joe Duffy, thanks so much for being back with us.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, this has been my full-time income for 27 years, and I love talking to the SBR video listeners or viewers, whatever the heck they are.
Yes. And I've said this a million times, and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. Joe Duffy takes any game I ask him to take, which means that the games that he covers are not going to be anywhere close to being his best bet. So the fact that he's had like a 55% ATS win rate over a large sample size with us in those kinds of games is very remarkable. Where it really matters is at his site for his pay picks, and those obviously are not these picks. They have a much better record. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Give a plug for your website and tell everyone how your premium picks have done in the long term.
Yeah, I was going to say not to brag, but to brag. I guess there is a reason that I've been in this business for more than a quarter century full time. We do have 9 college and pro winners for this weekend already up, and I'm going to be researching as soon as I get off of these videos with you. I'm going to go back to researching by Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have a lot more, but we already got a huge package up for the weekend. All plays are inclusive, including all the updates. See all the packages we got. Joe Duffy's picks at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Sounds good, Joe Duffy. The Saints are a 3-point road favorite. Totals 51 or 52 market wide, and expectations are pretty sky high for the Saints this year, right? They're probably higher than they've been since the Super Bowl season 2009. And the Falcons, they were decimated by injuries last year. Last year was a disastrous year. We know about that. Now they're healthier. The question is, how much talent do they have on the roster? On defense, they're looking a little bit iffy. They are switching up their defensive schemes, and they didn't have a good pass rush last year. I'm not exactly sure they have the talent to do that either this year. It's possible that the Saints could come into Week 1 already a little bit complacent and lethargic, acting like they've already won the NFC South. But my sense is that if they come in and play to their potential, they should get a win and cover. So maybe it's very square, but I'm leaning Saints -3 here. What do you think, Joe Duffy?
Now, I'm actually going to go with the home team, the Falcons, and it's not so much going against the Saints per se, but it is going with the Falcons. Remember, this time last year, they were coming off a 13-3 year where they almost went to the Super Bowl. They took it down to like the 9-yard line. They had a chance to beat the 49ers, and they were very close to going to the Super Bowl. And then last year, everything possible that could have gone wrong did go wrong. So many key players were hurt. Roddy White, Julio Jones, obviously Steven Jackson, who was their big acquisition last year. He didn't play all that much. So now they come into this season very undervalued. And the Falcons are a pretty good team. You're correct. Their defense has a lot of weaknesses. They had a lot of weaknesses when they almost went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Slightly improved on the offensive line. But one of our golden rules is you simply cannot manufacture emotion. And, of course, in Week 1, all teams are going to be pretty fired up. But I do think there is a true circled game here, a little bit of an edge for the Falcons from the top. Their owner, Arthur Blank, was furious last year when Kenny Vaccaro for the Saints, he took a cheap shot on Matt Ryan, and all of his teammates stood around and watched. They didn't come to his defense. And that really caused the Falcons to completely change their outlook. They feel that they've added some toughness, but I really think that they're going to have a bigger chip on their shoulder. As I said, that emotion that's just tough to manufacture. Falcons truly are fired up for this. Yes, in the Sean Payton era, the Saints have dominated the series straight up, but the games have been shockingly close. The Saints have won a lot of close games in this series, and with the 3 points at home, it's one of those. I think that Atlanta will win the game outright, but certainly getting the points at home is a big play.
All right. So also, I was thinking like maybe over, but then I pulled it back when I saw 51, which is the lowest total. There's also 52 market wide. Considering that the Falcons' strength is going to be on the offense this year, their defense has questions, and we know what the Saints can do on offense. You think maybe 51 might be a good play on the over, or is that just too high?
Yeah, the total is fairly high, but I think what you're going to see in this game, one of the more underrated facets is how Atlanta is going to use Devin Hester again in the offense, where a couple years ago the Bears tried to do that, and Hester, he didn't really fit into their system, and he kind of opted out of it. But Devin Hester is a big acquisition, but they used him in the preseason in the offense, where he is a big play guy. He's also, his mere presence opens up the field. It's somewhat analogous to years ago when Deion Sanders used to line up at wide receiver. Just the fact that he was there, you had to account for him. So I think that Hester is an extra weapon. Yes, the Falcons most definitely are losing Tony Gonzalez, probably the best tight end in history. But what that means is, you know, he was the safety valve, so they probably are going to have to open it up. And despite the high total, if I did have to pick a total in this one, I would agree that the over is probably the strong play. But the high total means that I don't know if it's going to be a premium play.
Going against the very strong-looking Saints, Joe Duffy liking Atlanta +3. Thanks so much, Joe.